We're live.
Welcome, everyone. It's a big day today. We have platform launching onto mainnet soon. So we've got
Doesn't happen
Mikhail
yet.
today with us. Anthony, say that again.
It hasn't happened yet.
Nope. The packages have been released. They're being adopted, and I guess the longer version is that we do need a certain number of people to adopt the latest package, which is platform version 1.1.1. And if so, within the next 20 something hours. So actually, I think the request is to do it within the next 7 hours, so that the quorums can start forming properly, and make sure that you don't get service banned. That is that's the goal in the next 7 or 8 hours. There is a little bit more time, I think, before the window, the snapshot hits, and if we've got enough nodes updated, Evo nodes specifically, then platform will activate on mainnet. If it doesn't within that time, then I believe it's just a waiting game until they do. But I think that there's a little bit of a question whether that will be successful or not. Do you know anything about this, Mikhail?
Yeah, basically we need some amount of a decent amount of network upgraded to the Dash platform to activate it, and yeah, we need to wait for certain quorums to happen.
Okay. But today, I think we have a little bit of a different topic in general. We're going to be discussing just general updates from Mikhail and team from the past month, and I think looking forward into the next month. Do you want to go ahead and tell us what you're going to be discussing as a brief overview, and then we'll jump into your screen share?
Let me check. Yeah, let me get to the screen share actually.
Okay, that'll be easier.
So yeah, in the last month there was a lot of updates, a lot of research is being done. There are not many changes on the UI side of the Platform Explorer or any projects, but there were quite researches as we get to the platform release. We started trying some more low level functions of the Dash platform and realizing how to put them together. Yeah, so.
So when you say research, what exactly? A lot of times, so we titled this platform R&D, research and development. A lot of times that the focus seems to be on R&D with research, but what kind of research are you doing in platform, and why?
Yeah, so let me show you. So for certain Platform Explorer features, for certain SDKs, we need some functions from the platform that we execute and return data. But there are different ways to retrieve the data. And for example, let me just show you an example. We have an identities and there is a balance. Right now, Platform Explorer calculates balances from the itself. It's recalculated. It's not querying the network itself, like the DAPI. And yeah, so we've been searching a way to execute those those gRPC queries on the DAPI and how to interact with them, because it's not really it's not quite easy to work with gRPC because it is a library from Google, which basically make some pre-generated clients, and yeah.
So why
It's
isn't that easy to work with? So my understanding is with gRPC you have a bunch of so-called proto files. They're text files that describe the interface that you can interact with in a generic way, so that different languages can then use that same protocol file and then generate clients, like you said. So you can generate a JavaScript client or a Rust client or whatever different client for the language that you're using. So if these are auto-generated clients, what's difficult about it? And are you talking specifically about a browser environment, or what part of it is difficult?
well, not really much people have already tried that. Like there are no code examples to, like, there are code examples, but when I'm doing it on the backend side, like it's kind of different, because there are maybe some missing queries. For example, we needed a query for total credits on the platform, but it wasn't there in the platform code source, like in the gRPC. Sam recently edited. Yeah, but there were some errors that we also been fixing up and trying to integrate it in the proper way. Yeah, we also tested the package called gRPC URL. This is something very similar to CURL, aka curl, which allows you to send some requests to HTTP servers. So it's the same tool, but it allows you to fire requests to gRPC interface, just like we have at API.
It's a command line tool that does the same thing as curl does for normal URLs, but instead of sending JSON data, for example, in the payload in the body, you're sending
something like that.
Okay, so it's okay. So do you want to show us that, or is that something that you plan to show, or just discuss?
I can show, but I need to change my share screen.
And so this would make it possible for you to do these gRPC calls. So the Evo nodes are running a gRPC backend service, and to interact with that, you have these different clients, the gRPC curl or gRP curl, however that's spoken, is one of those clients, but you wouldn't use that from a web browser, for example. You'd use that from just a normal terminal.
Right.
Anthony, have you had much experience while he's looking that up? Do you have much experience with using gRPC, or particularly in the web world?
No, I've never. I mean, like I'm aware of it, and my first job at StepZen, I was working with a bunch of like old school Google API devs, so they all spoke gRPC in their sleep, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, I came up through REST, and then this whole like gRPC thing happened. But gRPC is one thing that I've never really worked with directly.
Yeah. Okay. Mikhail, do you know why? Because I know that platform and Evo node, master nodes in general, they expose both gRPC endpoints and JSON RPC endpoints. Do you know why they don't expose all of it or more of it through normal RPC, normal JSON RPC?
Yeah, I think that not all DAPI methods were like tested in all the way, and I think platform team just aware that there could be bugs or some security flaws, so they disabled all of the queries except those that are really required for platform to work. So yeah, I think they will enable it later after we finalize SDK and stuff.
Okay. All right. Did you? We haven't. Let me put your.
Yeah,
are you
1
ready
second.
to put the
Yeah,
screen
1 second.
share back on. Okay, I'll wait for you for a minute.
Yeah, 1 second. I will copy some sample. Trying to find.
Pull up the docs
copy.
while you're doing that.
I guess. Yeah, right. Proof false. I remember that. So basically, you need to prepare a proper request param, which comes from the gRPC protocol file.
Okay. Should I share your screen now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Can you zoom in a little bit?
And then you use it something like that.
Oh, I'm seeing your terminal. Is that what you're trying to share? Because I don't see you typing anything yet.
Yeah. So it's basically missing the protocol file. Let me just copy that.
I'm seeing a screen that looks to be frozen.
Really?
Yeah.
Same.
Okay. Let me just.
And we can. We don't have to necessarily go into this part. I just thought we could show it if you had it ready. But we can. We could go on to some of the other things that you had to discuss if you wanted to. So you got a new screen share going. I'll add this to the stage.
Yeah, I believe. I don't know. I don't think it will work because
I'm seeing your
was
screen
updated.
now.
Yeah. So okay. Anyway, yeah. So there was quite researches around gRPC, around SDKs, how the platform works, and we also digged into the way how different platformers works and also we think about DashMate setup as well. I checked how to deploy the platform without the DashMate. It's kind of possible. There are few steps that needed to be done in order to have those DashMate set up. So there are some templates which are right now in the DashMate hard coded, and yeah, it makes it harder to use them without the DashMate. Yeah, so I made the first part like of this research, but I think like combining these things together shouldn't take much, and I'm going to test it on my own infrastructure. Yeah, so people can read the config files and they can always repeat it on their setups.
So this is a setup without DashMate using config files on your own infrastructure.
Yeah. It will probably use some DashMate files to generate the templates, but it will be always separate. Like all of the platform components will be run separately, like from without DashMate.
Okay.
Yeah. So we also did some urgent work, which was needed. For example, we fixed the inside UI. Our developer Owl 351 he managed to fix fixed this issue. There was an error in the client library on the client side. Yeah, and we also worked me myself. I worked on the DashMate during the platform release, like when it finally came out. I was supporting the DashMate, fixing some bugs. We also added one very important command, which called DashMate Doctor, which basically just pulls out everything about your masternode and puts it into the tar archive, or I don't know how it's okay. So yeah, it contains everything. It contains logs. It contains all the configs. But we also remove some sensitive data like API keys, private keys, and stuff like that. We only keep like external IP, protex, and some public stuff. Yeah. But in the future, we want to make it completely anonymous so that you can send it and nobody can discuss the masternode owners.
So that would be like log files that you're generating and filtering for privacy. And
Yeah.
like, how does this command compare to just something like the status command? Isn't the status command supposed to?
Yeah. The status command, it just returns you the overall data. It doesn't perform any checks. Like initially, we thought that would be a good idea to make a command like DashMate Doctor. It will show you the most generic errors which cannot be caught by DashMate status. For example, you don't have some port open, or you don't have, actually DashMate status shows that, but there could be different errors like you're missing some indexes, for example, or you're, I don't know, some errors in the log. So initially we thought that it would be a good idea to make make a comment that will just make some health check of your node, and show you some info. In the first version, we like agreed to just put everything in logs so that masternode owners can send the log file to the DCG support team, and they help this in case some urgent actions like network stall and stuff like that. Let me show you how this stuff looks like.
Great.
Okay, I will do the entire screen for this time. So basically, Archive looks like that. It's just a tar package compressed with a gun zip. If we unpack it, we see folders for each of the service, and also we have DashMate config, which, as you can see, hides even your home folder. So
just let me back up a little bit. You're in a folder called DashMate Report 2024 with the date. Is this something that the Docker command outputs? Does it output the folder?
Yeah. Let me check if I have my node running, and I can just run the command.
Yarn DashMate Doctor.
You will type it without yarn because it's my development machine. So you see, it just asks you if you want to make a report, and also tells you about every information that we collect, and that we obfuscate some sensitive data, and where the tar archive will be saved into. If we do yes, it will pull some data and make a where I was and DashMate there. Yeah, it's here. So we should get into DashMate. Yeah, here it is.
Okay.
So yeah, let me unpack it real quick. We can just check it lively. Yeah. So when we step into this folder, we can see each folder for each service, and we also can see the config with obfuscated info, like users are not shown, obfuscated, all the passwords obfuscated and stuff like that. There is also a DashMate version and the system info about operating system which is running on this machine where you're running the EVA node. It contains some info about CPU, about the memory, about Docker host machine. Yeah. So we limited the info that we extract from your machine. So yeah, because the library that we used are really FBI library.
A really
There are
what library?
FBI because
Yeah.
because there are so many infos. Every serial keys of your hardware, everything. When we saw that, we was kind of amazed with it. Yeah. So if we go into each folder, we can see some important data. For example, for core, we have all the logs from the Docker container. We have quorums, information, information about connected peers. We also have in Docker like info about Docker container for each of the each servers. Yeah, blockchain info, best chain log. Basically, this info needed for debugging. Yeah, when if something really bad happens in the network, this will be very, very important.
Okay.
The API for the tender dash, there are same set of the RPCs that we also pull, like consensus state, peers also, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Now, is this Docker doctor, not Docker, but DashMate doctor command? Is this already packaged in the 1.1 version?
Yes. We already merged it in.
And is the output that it gives right now, is it private enough that somebody could say send this archived folder, zip folder to DCG to have them diagnose a problem without any privacy concerns, or not yet?
Yeah, I think so. There are only public info like external IP, your Protex hash, which is already available in the blockchain, in the SML, in the masternode list. So I think it's fine. So we had like the most like sensitive information, like your username, your private keys.
Sure. But of course, if you have a Discord handle and you're sending it to DCG,
Yeah.
DCG will know which node you operate.
Mhm.
So just people should be aware of that. And then if they combine that with something like a service like MNO Watch, if you have multiple nodes, they might be able to connect those as well, just through cluster analysis. Just so that people know what
makes
they're
sense.
getting
Yeah,
into.
we will improve that in the future version. Yeah, but we will keep it like it's like minimal viable product.
Sure.
Yeah, so very cool comment that should help us really a lot, especially in the Discord when people, I don't know if people going to put it into Discord, but
yeah.
Anyway,
Now,
yeah.
just a question about one of the things that you mentioned before. Did you do you know if the Insight UI has been redeployed at the DCG's insight.dash.org
Yes,
service?
I did it today. So I released. I did a release today of Insight UI. I haven't tested it yet, and so for the same reason, I haven't pinged Latte yet. So I want to ensure that it is running in my infrastructure. Yeah.
Okay.
So I will test it today, I think, and we will see if it's working. Maybe another change will be needed, but we will figure this out as well.
And so the API, what the impetus was for this whole thing was Dash Central needed a bug fixed on the API.
I don't know what Dash Central needed, but I know that a new version wasn't working, and I was actually releasing it last time. So basically, there were changes in the network, like when they edit the master nodes and stuff like that. There was a Dashcore lib. There was changes in Dashcore lib which needed to be implemented, and they have a new version in the Dashcore lib, but it wasn't updated in the inside. So I updated the Dashcore lib inside the inside, but inside UI stopped working for some reason. Yeah. So, and it was like that for like maybe half a year.
Okay. All right. Well, what other things have you been working on then outside of DashMate and Insight?
Yeah. Let's get to the most interesting part, the Platform Explorer. There were really quite work. 1 second. I will share my screen.
So how many developers do you have working on this now?
Pretty much. We have, I would say, 3 to 5 active developers working with me. Some of them working partially, some of them work full time. Yeah. So we increased team on the Platform Explorer. Right now we have 2 front-end developer, and we have 1 backend guy, which really helps us. I already mentioned him when he fixed the inside UI. Very good guy, very talented, and yeah, he's doing very well. Yeah,
this is all open source, right? The front end, the back end, the indexers, all of it's open source. So anybody can run this infrastructure if they
sure
a private explorer. That know you're not doing any logs, I'm guessing, but if somebody wants to have their own instance. So just a couple questions before you get started on this. I see.
I'm actually missed one guy. There is also a new UX designer which works on the UX interface of the Platform Explorer, and he did very great work about refining this UI interface into more modern. So there is a new design. Sorry, I interrupted you.
This is not the design that you're talking about. You're saying there is a new one coming that will look different than this.
Yeah.
I see that you have, it says platform version 1.1.0. Does that mean that the infrastructure that you're running is running platform version 1.1, or that's the version that most of testnet is on, or what is that? Because I know we have a version 1.1 now.
Yeah, this version is the version that running the Platform Explorer. I haven't updated it yet to v1.1.1.
Okay.
So it's compatible, but it's not like, maybe it's mandatory, but I think it's mostly contains some DashMate stuff, and
so it's the version that you're running. Got it.
Yeah. It's the version that Platform Explorer is running on.
Okay, and then the Dash testnet 51. That's where's that coming
from? That's the latest testnet. It is coming from the Tender Dash RPC, so it's up to date with my DashMate full EVA node.
Okay.
So I have my own node.
Right.
Yeah. So let me show you what we've got. We totally redesigned all of the pages. What we have now, we have pretty good homepage, but we lack really a lot of info on other pages. For example, in blogs, we have just a table. If we go, for example, for some transactions, it is not clear what was sent in this transaction, and it's like not matching the homepage that we have right now. So and and we like thought about this with the designer. He came up with a new, fresh design, which personally I think more modern that we have now and can attract more users. Like it's more
Yeah, it
easier
looks
to
great.
use it. It looks very, like much good, much better. Yeah, the status page was reworked. We thought about these trending lists. We added the buttons so that you can check more data right away. On the data contracts pages, we added a slider which will show different data contracts submitted in the network. These are system ones which are hard coded in the platform code. This one is data contract of my platform explorer, but I really want to add also Dash Money applications, and maybe people will start doing some other decentralized dApps, dApps development. And so, yeah.
Yes. And just by the way, I as soon as this gets onto mainnet and is stable, I would really like to have a Dash Incubator data model and make
Yeah,
our incubator claims process.
sure. I thought about that. Yeah, I have some topic related to that. We will get into it.
Okay.
Yeah, also mobile. On our database pages, we edit some top, which is looks like some game ranking.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, there is now a copy button which allows you to easily copy the data, and you don't need to select it, and like
Mm-hmm.
it's easier. What we have else on the validators pages? Yeah, we left it as kind of is, but we also like reworked it to match the new design.
In case anybody's wondering about the term validators, do you want that? That is synonymous with evolution master nodes or Evo nodes, and it's
Yeah.
just the term that typical proof of stake blockchains use is the term validators, but it is synonymous with Evo nodes.
Yeah,
So I wonder if it might make sense to put that in parentheses or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Quiz already raised this question.
Or maybe we want to push
I
the Dash
agree.
community into the proof of stake world by just calling them validators. I don't know. What do you think?
I partially agree with that, because yeah, it makes sense for the users that goes to this website. But on the other hand, on the platform level, it's called validators on the tender dash level. And what
Right.
I'm doing here is I'm just parsing what's in the code, you know. So
Mhm.
it's like on more lower level than users see. Yeah. So yeah, it's a good idea. I don't know. We will think about that
Okay.
for sure. So yeah, I think what we left to do regarding this new design is construct a better transaction details interface. So when you get to the particular transaction page, it could be seen like straight right away all the info, just like we have, you know, on the other scan when we get to the. Come on, I'm not a bot. Yeah, when you get onto the transaction hash, you can see all the data right away, and then you can see the details of your transactions, like the function. So I think it should be something like that when we get to the specific transaction. We should see all of the data happening. We should see for some transactions like top up, like deposits. We should see a transaction leading to the L1 blockchain, to the core chain, and stuff
I
like
was
that, you know.
I was hoping for that myself. So that's
Yeah, and we also need some debug data like the signatures, the set log proof. So if you're a developer, you just copy that and just test it in your with your code. Yeah, actually, homepage. I think Alexei already made implemented the new design of the homepage. Yeah, so all we'll have to do is just complete the other. You can see it's already live.
nice.
But it's not. But it's not merged yet. I don't know, but I think this will be. Oh yeah. Also, the other pages also was a bit. Not all of the changes are there, but the basic design is already on all of the pages.
Mhm.
This is so cool.
It looks like great progress.
Yeah.
I like the little light up at the top left corner. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Alexei worked so hard. So I would like to thank you. I
Yeah.
would like to thank him.
Before I forget to ask, do you know what your plans are, what your timeline is as far as getting the mainnet network supported on this? Because right now it's just testnet as far as I know.
Yeah. There is already a switch. So as long like as soon as platform will be live and working in the mainnet, we'll just add it straight right away.
Okay, so that shouldn't take too long.
Nah, nah. We will have a platform explorer connected to the mainnet, and then we will have testnet.platformexplorer.com, which will serve the testnet data. We will also have some different devnets, I believe. Then it will be also listed here.
So they'll be on different URLs then.
Yeah, each one. Yeah. So there were also a lot of backend work. Our backend developer Owl really worked hard, and he already finished 23 tasks in the Dash Incubator, and he started I think it was in June, yeah, middle of the June. So he's very performant. So keep working,
Yep.
bro.
Yeah, I see him. I see him.
So yeah, so what he did, he was working on the backend side of the project. He implemented some important PostgreSQL queries like average transactions per seconds for Alexei to show on the front end. He also shown the validator proposed blocks. By the way, if you didn't see, if you get to the validator, you can now see a transaction or a chart which shows you activity of your validator, amount of proposed blocks for the timeline which you can choose. So you can see if your node is offline, you can see when it went offline and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he implemented this thing. And then we also worked on the release workflow, and he prepared Git action workflows to make releases. So right now we have releases in the Platform Explorer repository where you can see all of the changes that is happening. This is the first release, and this contains all of the changes that this GitHub action could find. But next releases will only show the differences between the versions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw the first 3 releases come in yesterday or something really quickly.
Yeah.
How quickly do you plan on doing? What's your release cadence plans?
Sorry, what you mean?
How often do you plan to do releases in the future?
I don't know. That I think depends on the major features. Actually, we did release like this workflow in such way that if we merge something to the master, it goes straight. Like it's just the backend changes, or some front end changes. If we merge it to master, it just goes straight like that. But if we need some breaking changes, if there were some breaking changes, like some changes in the schema which requires reindexing of the Platform Explorer, then we do it while the releasing of the new version. So then when deployment is going, it's dropping the database and resyncing it. So it will be a fast, I think, development workflow. But if there are breaking changes, we will just push a new version. But maybe we will do more frequent. So we just implemented it. Haven't really played a lot with it. We will see how it works. Basically, the versions that you see here released, you can also see on the Platform Explorer. So it goes straight from the package version. So you can always see which version is live on the Platform Explorer. Maybe it's a good idea also show the Git hash, but we didn't do this yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question before I forget again. Joel was wondering if there's any update on Wallet Connect. Do you want to speak to
that? We've been talking with Joel about that, and I've seen that they made some changes to UTXO comments, and actually, I think Joel also said that One Wallet already implemented some Bitcoin protocols. Yeah, but we didn't really think about that yet because there was a platform release. We will get on that after the platform release, where there is a lot of urgent stuff that we need to do in different projects. So yeah.
So have we done the work that's needed on our side, and we're just waiting for them to merge something in, or what's the status?
I think we're waiting for us. Like I think there are some code. I need to just open the pull request. As far as I know, there are not much changes that needs to be done, like one-day work, as Joel said. I think it shouldn't take really much time, but
something like adding the different.
It just it just requires attention.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we will do it after the platform release, for sure.
Okay. And speaking of that, do you have any tips for people who are setting up their Evo nodes, because that is like a time critical thing? Do you have any kind of tutorial that you can refer them to if they don't already know?
Yeah, we actually made a one. Cool. Yeah. So there is another guy called. His name is Lexel. His nickname is Lexel. He experienced developer. Yeah, and he likes trying out some new stuff, and he also likes to write articles. And I asked him if he wanna just decompose all of the DashMate stuff and just made a proper full article, which full guide, like tutorial, which lets you just spin up a DashMate with all of the comments and list all of the comments.
Is this a guy that's like in the Dash community, or is this a guy that's in the broader crypto community and you like recruited him and this is the first thing that he's done with Dash, or what do you know?
Yeah. Actually, all of the people that right now in my team, they were all invited by our UX designer. I would like to thank him very much. He really helped me like doing things.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just like doing designs. He also knows some contacts. He's very motivated. He always like, come on, bro. Like it's great. It's all cool.
What's his handle?
His handle is Black Mirror Designer.
Okay, so Black Mirror Designer. Thank you for building out the team there.
Yeah. So he suggested me all of the guys that like it's the Owl, it's Lexel, it's Dan Kravchu, which is the second front-end developer. So yeah, 3 guys, I think.
Okay, let's scroll through this slowly so that people can see the.
So basically, what it shows you is first is this is introduction. like what is master node and what is the sections in this article. It's basically was broken down into 4 parts. First is just installing your local wallet and securing it, then preparing and configuring the server, then installing the DashMate, and then finally running it. Yeah, so if we go through it, we can see that there are screenshots and all of the steps that needs to be done. Um, this was written on Ubuntu, but I think it's doesn't really matter. It should work for any system. Yeah, so it shows you that you need to save some wallet and make a backups. How to get your project's hash when once you send the collateral. How to create your server, your VPS. That you need to do SSH key, need to do proper public key authentication, because we already seen that Quiz's node, I think, was hacked because some people use passwords, but there are a lot of people really doing a lot of brute forces. And yeah, so it's very important, I think, that you set a public pub key authentication, because it's basically, yeah, turning down very like this vector of attack. Also for the Windows, what you should do, SSH CPL, configuring the firewall, enabling swap, reboot, and then we go to the installing DashMate step, which, yeah, it links to the Debian packages which are available in the platform releases section. So to install, you can just install that package. Yeah. Then goes the section about starting your DashMate setup, making a transaction. It shows you how to go through all of the steps and how to make a transaction. Here you insert your collateral transaction info, your addresses, which are in your local wallet and not in the server. The latest private key. Yeah. Here we see, yes, DashMate composes a registration command that you need to put into Dashcore wallet. Once we get it, we can go through the rest of the stuff. Also, we explain it the zero SSL step because it is very important for people. Also, I would like to mention that zero SSL is not working for some restricted subnets. For example, for Russian subnets, you will not be able to set up a zero SSL, but you can always. Yeah, but
that seems like a big problem, because zero SSL is the only option for getting a certificate from a
of course, but
certificate authority for an IP address.
For sure, but you can always create this certificate in somewhere else, like separately from the DashMate, and then use file on disk. We also describe this section how to do that instead of zero SSL. So you either use zero SSL or you use file on disk.
Okay.
Yeah, in the end, DashMate will tell you that everything set up successfully. Then you just launch it. It will start all of the services, and then you can see that everything is all good. Also, everything is synced. In the end, you can see DashMate, your DashMate node in your Dashcore wallet or on the Platform Explorer website.
Yeah, this looks very comprehensive. Have you tried this? Was this tested on testnet, or how did he come up with all these steps? Has he been?
Yeah, he learned of the stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, he learned of the stuff, how the DashMate work, how network works. So he has a lot of background. He's like not that young type of guys. But he's not. He may be not that like experienced, but he has a lot of knowledge in his mind. Yeah, so he also okay with the terminal, all of the stuff, Linux. his Linux user himself, sorry. And yeah, so he dug up all of the stuff, basically broken down every part of this process, and composed this article. He also willing to work on some next articles, just like, for example, we want to do article about Dash platform, how Dash platform works, how to use it, how to submit documents, how to submit data contracts, how to work with it. These articles exist in 2 languages, in the English and in Russian. So we cover like 2 communities at least, which is good. Yeah. We also received some traffic, by the way, when we posted it into some Russian blog website. There were some comments, so it also increasing the appearance of Dash. Yeah. So yeah. What else? Yeah. Actually, we still doing a lot of researches. For example, I've been researching stuff about about Dash platform and how to, like, not exactly Dash platform, but we right now we have kind of limited functionality to use this SDK, which is like the official Dash SDK on the front end, because of their bundle size. It's pretty big. It was reduced in the recent builds.
Woo! Yeah.
It was reduced to 36 megabytes, which is still too much for the front end.
Yeah, I was noticing that. We were talking about that before the show. So, by the way, I don't know if this is actually technically the official SDK anymore. I think the Rust SDK has taken over official SDK, but
yeah, but for the front end, you can only use the Dash.
36 megabytes. I know. Yeah, I know that. 36 megabytes. 4.1.1. That's unpacked size. Yeah, I'm actually seeing it. So if you go to Bundlephobia, it's actually smaller. If you go to yeah.
We got a question in the chat. What are some of the potential solutions to the SSL issue over the coming years? Wasn't there something related to IPFS, but only worked on Chromium browsers? Maybe getting things mixed up.
Yeah, he's talking about lib what's it called? Lib P2P. That's the IPFS library that we've looked into a little bit in the past about how to.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, but I think he is mixing up things a little bit. That's not the SSL issue. That's connecting directly to master nodes to get network data. But
yeah, I can say. Okay, let's get
if
back
you want
to
to
this.
say anything more about that, Mikhail, you might have some more knowledge about Huawei's question. Or did you want to move on?
Could you repeat the question? Is it about SSL on the DAPI?
Potential solutions for the SSL issue over the coming years. So the SSL issue is that there's only one provider, zero SSL, that gives certificate authority certs that are recognized by typical browsers. And there's only one service that does that for IP addresses. But then then he says there something related to IPFS, but it works only in Chromium browsers. I think those are two.
Okay, let me answer that question real quick. Yeah, there is. I think there is one way to avoid those SSL searches, but DAPI HTTPS interface is just a transport that can be switched with anything else later. And I know a protocol called Web Transfer, which was just recently like implemented in major browsers. It's kind of new protocol which is made over HTTP3, I believe. Yeah, and it basically allows you to put your certificate hashes when you are connecting to the servers instead of public key infrastructure that we have, like all of this SSL stuff. I think there should be a research towards this protocol and just check how can we implement it. I think it should be possible to use platform node public keys as um, as a trusted source. Like you can get something from XML to check the public keys and make a secure connection without involving the SSL certificates. So I think it should be possible. We just like the platform team just made the first version with the SSL. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll look
Quite a
forward to
bunch.
that in the future.
Yeah.
Sounds like something that we can continue to.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, the problem with the Dash SDK on the front end that it's
Yes.
still too big. It's still too big. 13 megabytes. It also not like it's stable, but for example, in the extension environment, I've been trying to put it into extension environment. It doesn't work reliably. For example, it downloads really a lot of data. So it syncs to the network from the block 1, and it queries all of the transactions happening on the wallet and all of the block headers, which I think overall takes from 15 megabytes to 100 megabytes. When you're working in extension, you cannot save that much amount of data.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So I think we need a better SDK to work with the platform transactions.
Yeah. Yep. We have actually we've started on that. On my side, we have a library that we're trying to get the very first basic identity registration done. And we were looking into WASM DPP. We had a long conversation with you as well, Mikhail. So thanks for that. If you open a new tab on the Bundlephobia site and go to, or just not that one. So just open a new Bundlephobia tab. Yeah. Yep. And then type in @evo/wasm-dpp. Nope, not that one. Yep. This seems to be most of the size of the SDK, and it's come down significantly. I'm not sure how, but from the last version that I was looking at, which was 1.1.0, I was looking this morning, and it's come down significantly from there. So we talked a little bit before the stream. Not sure exactly what was removed from these packages that made them almost half as big. They're still bigger than they need to be, obviously, but a significant improvement. So did you figure out, we were talking maybe about source maps maybe having removed source maps or something like that, but something to look into. Last time we tested this WASM DPP library, it wasn't working for us. So that was
yeah, I think they removed it. Because I remember seeing it in this directory.
Removed source maps?
Yeah, source maps. I think that reduced the size
okay.
of the final WASM DPP bundle.
Okay. So we'll have to test this again, see if it works for us. But yeah, that's the main package that we need in order to.
Yeah. So yeah, and to make new decentralized applications, we need that because putting that into the client side. Like if you're just a regular user and to run platform queries, you just wait for syncing code to the platform network, and that just not that efficient.
Yeah, you
So,
don't want people waiting for a minute,
yeah.
depending on their connection.
So to research that, like the way to interact with Dash platform functions, Dash platform features from the front end. So I picked up my existing project called trendmix.dev website, and we talked with our devs for a little bit, and we decided to move some data from it to the Dash platform. Oh no, something was broken. I didn't know that. Like I don't know what happened. I think we pretty what a I think that was connection problem. Yeah. So yeah, what we thought is that we could put potentially all of the new updates that we have, all of the updates that we have uh, into the Dash platform. We can also put the team and stuff like that. All of this stuff, and I want to do it like a playground for interacting with the Dash platform. At least we have something that we already can like make some, and like it will require this Dash SDK research stuff, because
Yeah.
here on front end we wanna, for regular users, we wanna just show people validates data from the network. If you're, for example, admin, you want to create some updates, you need to push it somehow into the network. We also want to do a separate page like called tasks. So if people, so it's something, some my idea. So if some cool developers come to my website and he just lists through the sections, he gets to the task list and he can see some available tasks to just start doing right away.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good idea to put everything in the Dash platform, because it will be there forever. Nobody could just delete all of my info that I have been posted, like from a website, for example, and it will work basically forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, and yeah.
Okay, cool. Yep. I think we're both kind of on the same page there. It'd be very cool. We need to have some real world applications on Dash platform before I can recommend anybody else using Dash platform. I would like to make sure that it's working for my own use case in real production, and that we're relying on that. We're relying on it to never be wiped, for example. That's the kind of thing that will give me the confidence to share this for other people, like for example, the people that we've introduced it to already briefly, Anthony. We've got to get going soon. You said you've got a time, you've got a schedule to get to. So did you have anything else to add, Anthony? And then we'll wrap it up.
Nope. No, this is great stuff, Mikhail, and just keep it up, killing the game over here.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and thanks, Mikhail, for giving us this update on what you've been working on, what you plan to be doing in the near future here, and everybody else, get those nodes up and running, and let's get this. Hopefully next week we'll be on mainnet. If not, I guess we'll figure that out, but that's the plan. Thanks, everybody.
Even more imminent.
Yep, more imminent. Yeah. Bye, everyone.
So